Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again for the last deck of the week, and it's one that I've held off doing for a while though. I've had a lot of people, including several of my mods, request it over the last couple of months since Fallout hit MTGO. So I figured it's time to do it. The Wise Mothman. One black, green and blue for a 3/3 insect mutant, has flying, and when it enters or attacks, each player gets a rad counter. And if you can't remember what rad counters are, they're little counters that represent the radiation from the Fallout game in MTG, sorry. And what you do is, at the beginning of your upkeep, you mill a card equal to the number of rad counters you get. For each non-land card milled this way, you lose a life and remove a rad counter from yourself. So eventually you get rid of all your rad counters, but it costs you a bit of life to do it, unless you hit a whole load of land cards, in which case you don't lose any life, but you still got the rad counters. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. But anyway, whenever one or more non-land cards are milled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of non-land cards milled this way. So basically your Mothman is helping you grow your creatures as you take damage from the radiation. Yeah, represents the mutations that creatures get, I'm guessing. I don't know, I've never really played the Fallout games, so I'm guessing from what I've read that's what it's meant to represent. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I'll be really happy to know if I'm wrong. But it's a good fun card. I've been saying I'll do it for a while now, so here we go. Here's what today's deck looks like. So, since Moxfield, which I'm still trying out, uses things in a different way, we'll start with the battle, and it's the invasion of Amaket. Ends the battlefield, each player mills 3, then each opponent discards a card and we draw a card. But it flips into a nice creature. It flips into the Lazotep Convert. You may have the Lazotep Convert enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard, except it's a 4/4 zombie in addition to any other types it has. So you've got your opponents milling because of our Wise Mothman. Might as well copy their creatures that are in the graveyard to help us out. From there, Liliana, Death's Majesty. We like milling, basically, with this deck, and we like returning things from graveyards to the battlefield. So Liliana does both of those for us. And eventually, if we can get to -7, gives another Wrath effect that takes care of all the non-zombie creatures. From there, we have several creatures coming in, starting with Hedron Clab to mill away. To mill away whatever we feel like, really. It can target ourselves, it can target our opponents, depending on what we feel like we're doing and how we're going to win. So, you know, Stitch's Supply, we have to mill 3. When it enters or dies, get that. The Bramble Familiar lets us mill 7 if we do the fetch quest to get a creature, and then we get to put a creature, enchantment or land from among them onto the battlefield, or we could just play it as a 2/2 that gives a bit of mana ramp and eventually bounces itself back to our hand. Cruel Sommerfage is one of the things we are looking to win with though. Get all the power and toughness equals the number of creature cards in all graveyards is very nice, thank you. Nasri, Searcher in the Dark, comes in. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you mill that many cards. Then you put any number of legendary or enchantment cards from among them into your hand. If you put no cards in this way, put a +1/+1 counter on Nasri. That's cool, we'll cope with that. More ramp with Skull Prophet and a little bit more of milling. And the reason we're trying to mill everything away is here. Thassa's Oracle is one of our main win conditions in the deck. We just want to get this cast, get it done, and make sure that our devotion to blue is greater than the number of cards we have left in our library, so we can win that way. That's part of the plan anyway. We also have the Ancient one here. Can't attack or block unless there are 8 more permanent cards in our graveyard, and then we get to draw and discard. And when you discard a card this way, you can get target player to mill cards equal to its mana value. So you do have a way of milling out your opponents. Siren of the Silent Song becomes untapped. Each opponent discards a card, then puts the top card of his or her library into their graveyard. Yeah, okay then. More mill for our opponents. Stinkweed Imp to help us dredge it back, but again, you know, deals combat damage to a player, destroy that creature. Basically should just be, could be edited to saying Death Touch, I believe, if I understand it correctly. Zelix, the Sanity Flayer's in as well. Whenever a player mills 1 or more cards, we get a 1/1 horror creature token. That's fine. Lurgoyf, here come the Goyfs. Power is equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards, and toughness equals that +1. Mortivore as well has power and toughness equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards, and we get to pay black to regenerate. Sidisi, the Brood Tyrant, enters or attacks mill 3 cards, and whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library, you get a zombie. Okay. Winter's here as well to get the mill on the go, and the delirium, so we can return things from our graveyard with finality counter on once we hit delirium. Necromaster Dragon deals combat damage to player. You may pay 2. If you do, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, and each opponent puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into their graveyard. So yeah, another way of getting blockers. Yep, another deck where I've got the Overlord of the Bale mark in. Might as well have it here to do the whole milling and returning something. Phaenax, God of Deception, is our secondary, well, main win condition. Give all our creatures the ability to mill people's stuff away. We should be able to do this, especially when you get Lurgoth and Mortivore on the go. Phaenax becomes very dangerous very quickly. Mill with one of them, get opponent to mill with one of them, and the other one gets bigger. And you can get to do it again, and they keep getting bigger. So, yeah. Main way of winning is milling. Yeah, sorry. Sheldred is also in to help us out. Get the opponents to sacrifice creatures or artifacts when they come into play, and then obviously flips into the true scriptures, which we talked about the other day. So Conrad, yep, another way we can win, just to drain people out as the things they're putting into the graveyard get milled, and hopefully they're creatures. So Conrad does become a bit of an issue. Blight Titan, enter attacks, mill 2 cards, and we get to incubate, so we get some more tokens that we can use to mill or attack with if we need to. Geth, Lord of the Vault, lets us nick things from an opponent's graveyard for black, plus its casting cost in colourless, so yeah, okay. And then they get to build that, and player puts the top X cards of their library into their graveyard. Nice, we like that. Backup milling, very good. Lumara, Bella of the Woods, gives us all the lands that we've probably milled away at some stage. Sludge Titan lets us enter the battlefield or attacks, mill 5 cards, then we get to put a creature or land card from among them into our hand. Quite like this from the clue set, it's a bit of fun, so it's here. And then the Mindbreaker, attacks defending player, mills half their library rounded up. And then we get to unearth it if we need to. Yeah, okay then. We'll go with that plan. Sounds like a funny plan to me. But yeah, let's get someone to mill half their library away. Okay, we can do that. Sorceries, ramp, and other bits and pieces. So we've got Fast Seek for ramp, Glimpse the Unthinkable for some more milling, Life from the Loam, so we can get things back from our, return our lands, or dredge if we need to, especially if we're looking to do the Oracle win. Nature's Law, ramp, Roots of Wisdom, just to return lands if we need to. 3 visits for more land search, Damnation to control the board, Enter the God Eternals to take care of a creature that's annoying us. The Amass 4 kind of helps as well, so that's always good fun. And then, yeah, obviously a little bit of milling. And then Breach the Multiverse. Everyone mills 10, get a creature or planeswalker from everyone's graveyard, and put them onto the battlefield under our control. Like that plan. Instance, Smuggler's Surprise lets us go and get 2 of our creatures straight into play if we need to, or give our creatures for power 4, greater, hexproof, and indestructible. Cash Grab does the mill 4. Then we get to put a permanent from the cards milled this way into our hands. So, yep, like that. Cyclonic Rift is a game changer. We all know what it does to control the board. Grapple with the Past does the milling as well, and then we get to return creatures or land. So, yep. Wasteful Harvest, mill 5, put a permanent card from among the cards milled this way into your hand. Another way of getting things that we need. And Sudden Reclamation, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, then return a creature card and a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Is kind of good, I think. Ramp comes from the artifact side with not a lot else, with a little bit of mill to help out. So we got the Mox Tantalite, the Soul Talisman, the Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, the medallions. And then we've got the mill stuff. So we've got Folio Fancies, so everyone gets no maximum hand side. We can make everyone draw cards, then mill cards. Mesmeric Orb just annoys people if you get it down on turn 2. Even better if you get it down on turn 1. Whenever opponent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. Yeah, okay then. Thought Vessel, just to make sure we've got no maximum hand size for some more ramp. And then Head Shredder. This is nice. I like this card. I'm playing this in standard at the moment. I'm really enjoying playing this from Duskmourn. Attacks, you mill 2, and then whenever one or more land cards are put in your graveyard this way, you get to put them onto the battlefield tapped. Yeah, really do like it. It's good fun. Enchantment wise, Tiny Bones joins up. Enter battlefield, target any number of target players each decide a card. And whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose a life. Okay. Vessel of Paramentia lets us target player mills the top 3 cards of their library and we get to draw. Court of Cunning just automatically mills at the beginning of each upkeep. Any number of target players each mill 2. So get this into play and just start the mill process. Crawling sensation. You know what this does, may put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, and when lands go this way you get insect tokens. Memory erosion. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. You don't have to do anything with this. Your opponents cast spells, they mill. It's very simple. I quite like it. It's good fun. Sphinx's tutelage. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills the top 2 cards of their library. If they're the same colour, repeat. Likewise, Teferi's tutelage enters the battlefield, we get to loot, and then whenever we draw, target opponent mills 2. The end. Deadbridge Chant lets us mill the top 10 cards of our library, and then at the beginning of upkeep, choose a card at random in your graveyard. If it's a creature card, goes into your battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Yeah, okay, that's fun. And Demonic Covenant. Whenever you one or more demons you control attack, you draw a card and lose a life. But at the beginning of your end step, create a 5/5 demon creature token with flying, then mill 2 cards. If 2 cards that share all their card types were milled this way, you sacrifice the Covenant. But it gives you a 5/5 every turn once you hit play, which I really like the idea of. So nice big flying creature to help block things up with. Lands wise, green, blue and black lands all the way through. The Alchemist Refuge is here, so we can do flash if we need to at some stage. We've got Field of the Dead here because it's a tricolour deck at the end of the day, and it's always easier to run Field of the Dead in tricolour decks than dual colour decks or mono decks. We have got 4 of each of the basics in just to help us out, and all the tainted lands coming through as well, so we can get the extra mana. Urborg's here and Yavimaya are here. Sorry, you can't see the pictures because of how I have this thing's very annoying. I can't move it, which is kind of even more frustrating. But hey, Triome, you know the score, you know what we're doing, and we're there. So there we go. That's how I've built my copy of the Wise Mothman. As soon as I'm back up and running on streams again, you'll be able to see it played out on the stream. And that is also the first 3 decks this week, the last 3 decks, yesterday's and today's and Tuesday's deck that I've used Moxfield for. Let me know if you prefer Moxfield to MTG Goldfish. I'm curious. But for now, thanks for watching. Anything you think I've missed in the deck, let me know down below. Hit the subscribe button if you can here on YouTube. I'd really appreciate it. But that's it for now. I'm out of here. Hope you've enjoyed the videos this week, and I'll be back very soon with streams and more videos. So for now, take care. Bye bye.